Hello, good morning students. Welcome back to the fourth lecture of class 10th of science, chapter number 2, acid, bases and salts. Now in the previous section we had discussed about the common salt, how it is prepared and where is it used for. Now in this lecture we will discuss more about the bleaching powder, which is also known as calcium oxychloride, and its formula is CaOCl2. So how is it first prepared? It is produced by the action of chlorine on dry slaked lime. Means when this chlorine is passed through the solution of this slaked lime, then bleaching powder, that is known as the calcium oxychloride, is formed and water is formed as its byproduct. So this is termed as the bleaching powder. It is also known as calcium oxychloride. CaOH whole twice is this slaked lime and chlorine gas is passed through this solution. So we get here calcium oxychloride and water is obtained as byproduct. Now what is its uses? What is the uses of this bleaching powder? Now this bleaching powder is widely used for bleaching of cotton and linen clothes in textile industry, for bleaching wood pulp in paper industry, and for bleaching washed clothes in laundries are also used. Means this bleaching powder is used widely in textile industry for bleaching cotton and linen clothes. In similar way, for wood pulp in paper industry and bleaching washed clothes in laundries are also used. Second uses of this bleaching powder is, this is used as a disinfectant. This is used as a disinfectant for water to make it germ free. Means it is added in water to make the water germ free. It is also used as a oxidizing agent in many chemical industries. Okay, oxidizing agent we have discussed in the previous chapter, that is chapter number 1. Then after, caustic soda. Caustic soda, it is also known as sodium hydroxide. Its common name is caustic and it's having sodium hydroxide is its chemical name. Now how this sodium hydroxide is formed? Now when electricity is passed through an aqueous solution. Aqueous solution means solution containing water. Aqueous solution of this sodium chloride, that is also known as brine solution, sodium chloride NaCl, you know it. So it decomposes to form sodium hydroxide, and this process is also called as chlor-alkali process. This process is also known as chlor-alkali process, as here we can clearly see in this that in chlor-alkali process, here the reactions, if you see, NaCl is there. So NaCl plus water, when electricity is passed through this solution, so we find that NaOH is obtained as its main product. Cl2 and H2 is obtained as a gas. So in this process we know that chlorine gas is given out. Means chlorine gas is given off at the anode, means at anode, and hydrogen gas is evolved at the cathode, and so in this way sodium hydroxide is formed near the cathode. So suppose we have taken here at anode, cathode and NaOH formation. So at cathode this H2 is produced, at anode this Cl2 is produced. So anode, cathode, I think you might be knowing. So here anode is taken as a positive and cathode is taken as a negative. So NaOH is obtained over here. Now whatever this here Cl2 and H2 is produced during this process, where this H2 gas and Cl2 gas can be used. So what are its uses? So this H2 gas might be used as a fuels, then margarines, ammonium for fertilizers, means these H2 can be also used as a fertilizers. Where this Cl2 gas is used, so Cl2 gas can be used as a water treatment, then it is also used in swimming pools, PVC, polyvinyl chloride, then disinfectants, you know what is this disinfectants? It makes the water free from the germs, and CFC, chlorofluorocarbons and pesticides. So these can be used in Cl2 can be used in these sectors or in these purposes. Then after this degreasing of metals, this NaOH can be used as a degreasing of metals. It is used in the preparation of soap and detergents. Okay, then it is also used in this paper industry, making for paper and artificial fibers. It is also used in making artificial fibers. Then coming to the next compound, which is widely used as a baking soda. So this baking soda is common name of this compound. This compound is also known as sodium hydrogen carbonate, and its chemical formula is NaHCO3. So the soda commonly used in the kitchen for making our food items tasty, crispy pakoras is nothing but baking soda. So this is used especially in the kitchen. So make our pakoras tasty and crispy. It is a mild non-corrosive base. Non-corrosive means it does not corrode. Corrode means does not react with oxygen and hydrogen. This oxygen as well as water to form a corroded layer, to form a corrosive layer. Third, it is used as a major constituent of baking soda. Means major constituent means majorly it is used as a baking soda. So chemically it is called as a sodium hydrogen carbonate. Okay, so its common name is baking soda and its chemical name is here sodium hydrogen carbonate. So how is its manufacturing done? How is its manufacturing done? We will see. Now, how is it prepared? Coming to this, NaCl, that is sodium chloride, you can write it, sodium chloride, and water, CO2 and NH3. These raw materials are required for making this sodium hydrogen carbonate. So NaCl is required, NaCl plus H2O plus CO2 gas and NH3, that is ammonia. So all these gases react together and pass. So it forms here, these you can call that these are the raw materials required for preparing the sodium hydrogen carbonate over here. So NaCl, H2O, CO2 and NH3, these produces ammonium chloride here and NaHCO3 means as our main product, that is sodium hydrogen carbonate, which is known as baking soda. So following reaction takes place when it is heated. So if these reactions are heated, like NaHCO3 is heated, then we get sodium carbonate. It is known as sodium carbonate This is called sodium carbonate. Water and CO2 gas is evolved over here. Okay, so this is the preparation of baking soda. So once again, this raw materials needed for preparing this baking soda is NaCl, H2O, CO2 and NH3 gas are passed through this, and we get ammonium chloride and sodium hydrogen carbonate. So if we heat, the following reaction takes place when this is heated, means when sodium hydrogen carbonate is heated, we obtain the product as a sodium carbonate, water and carbon dioxide is evolved as a gas. Now where is it used? So this baking soda, for making baking soda, which is mixture of baking soda, that is NaHCO3, and a mild edible acid like tartaric acid. So when baking powder is heated or mixed in water, the following reaction takes place, right? So here we can see that NaHCO3, that is sodium hydrogen carbonate plus H plus ion. So this is actually treated with water, mixed with water. So this H plus ions is there because it produces H plus, and here CO2 plus H2O plus sodium salts of sodium or sodium salts of acids are produced. So this CO2 produced in these reactions, during these reactions, you know, CO2 is produced over here. So this production of CO2 causes the bread and cake to rise, making them very soft and spongy. So this is the preparation of baking soda and uses of baking soda also. So in the next lecture we will discuss more about these compounds, but before that let's know some more about the uses of this baking soda. Then after, sodium hydrogen carbonate. Sodium hydrogen carbonate is also an ingredient of antacids, means sodium hydrogen carbonate is one constituent of antacids. Okay, now antacids, you know, during when this acidity occurs, antacids are actually nothing but a basic in nature. So when we suffer from any kind of acidity, it is recommended to take antacids as a medicine. So antacids neutralizes the acidic effect inside our stomach. So being alkaline, it neutralizes the excess acids in the stomach and provides relief. Okay, so it is being alkaline, still it neutralizes the excess acidic effect in the stomach and produces relief. So this is now NaHCO3, that is sodium hydrogen carbonate, and HCl, that gives NaCl, H2O and CO2 gas is released. So when this, you can say that when sodium hydrogen carbonate is heated with HCl, it produces salts of neutral salts, H2O and CO2 gas. So this baking soda is also widely used as a soda acid fire extinguishers. So till here we are completing. In the next lecture we will see some more compounds and their preparation as well as uses. Thank you.